In a world where relationships shape the essence of our daily lives, discerning which connections foster our growth and which hinder our path can be a profound challenge. This script delves into the sacred realm of divine guidance, offering insights and wisdom on navigating the complex tapestry of human interactions through a spiritual lens. It beckons us to consider not just the nature of our relationships, but their alignment with our deepest spiritual calling and divine destiny. Drawing from timeless biblical narratives and principles, it serves as a beacon, illuminating the path to true companionship, peace and fulfillment by God's grand design for our lives. Through a journey of reflection, discernment and obedience to divine promptings, this message invites us to transform our relational landscape, encouraging us to let go of what no longer serves our highest good to make room for the divine connections that await us. Embrace this journey as an invitation to realign with your spiritual purpose, cultivating relationships that not only bring joy and support, but also propel you towards your divine destiny. Heed God's warning underlines the vital importance of tuning into and obeying divine signals, prompting one to create distance from specific individuals who may be obstructing one's spiritual development or personal welfare. This principle is anchored in the understanding that God communicates with individuals in various ways, offering guidance and warnings aimed at steering them away from relationships that could detract from their spiritual path or personal happiness. The essence of this message lies in recognizing and trusting that God possesses a comprehensive view of our lives, including the intricate dynamics of our relationships and their long-term impacts on our destiny, spiritual health, and overall well-being. By heeding God's warnings to sever ties with certain people, individuals are called to make challenging yet crucial decisions about their social interactions, grounded in faith that such choices align with a higher plan for their lives. Manifesting through consistent feelings of unease, recurring negative patterns within specific relationships, or even direct spiritual revelations, these divine nudges are designed to alert individuals to the toxic or harmful nature of certain associations. The emphasis on heeding God's warning encourages a proactive approach to discernment and decision-making in one's relationships, advocating for a deep trust in divine guidance. Therefore, heed God's warning serves as an invitation to change for individuals, to actively listen to and follow divine guidance, making the difficult choices necessary to remove themselves from harmful relationships. This obedience to spiritual insight is presented as not only a path to personal and spiritual liberation, but also as a step toward attracting and cultivating more positive, supportive, and fulfilling connections that align with one's divine purpose and journey. Biblical reference to relationships delves into the scriptural foundation provided by Genesis 2:18 to illuminate the concept that not all companions or relationships are conducive to our well-being, thereby underscoring the imperative need for divine guidance in the selection of appropriate partners or friends. This point draws upon the biblical narrative to establish a framework for understanding relationships from a spiritual and divine perspective, emphasizing that companionship, while essential to human experience, must be discerned with wisdom and guidance from a higher power. The reference to Genesis 2:18 serves as a pivotal example where God observes that it is not good for the man to be alone and decides to make a helper suitable for him. This passage is instrumental in conveying the message that while humans are inherently social beings, necessitating interaction and companionship, there is a divine intent behind the relationships we form. It suggests that relationships are not merely about filling a void of loneliness, but about finding individuals who are suitable, that is, those who complement our lives in a way that supports our spiritual growth, purpose, and overall well-being. By highlighting this scripture, the point emphasizes that discernment in relationships is not just a personal or emotional endeavor, but a spiritual one that requires seeking and adhering to God's guidance. It acknowledges the complexity of human relationships and the challenges inherent in identifying who is truly beneficial for us to be with. Thus, it suggests that divine intervention is not only helpful but necessary in navigating these complexities, ensuring that the relationships we invest in are aligned with God's plan for our lives and contribute positively to our journey. The biblical reference to relationships fundamentally calls believers to engage in a deeper level of spiritual reflection and prayer when forming or maintaining relationships. It encourages individuals to look beyond surface-level compatibilities and seek God's wisdom in discerning the character and suitability of potential companions. This approach fosters a reliance on divine insight, ensuring that the relationships we cultivate are not only fulfilling, but also elevating us towards our divine destiny and purpose. Signs to walk away meticulously delineates clear indicators that signal the necessity to disengage from certain relationships, pinpointing constant disagreement, a pervasive lack of peace and joy, and detrimental impacts on one's spiritual well-being as pivotal red flags. This guidance serves as a practical roadmap for individuals to assess the health and viability of their relationships, emphasizing the importance of recognizing when a relationship ceases to contribute positively to their life's journey and spiritual growth. Constant disagreement is identified as a primary sign, suggesting that perpetual conflict within a relationship is more than just a series of misunderstandings. It may indicate a fundamental misalignment of values, visions, or life paths. Such relentless discord can erode one's sense of peace and emotional stability, making it a significant indicator that the relationship may not be salvageable or conducive to one's overall well-being. The absence of peace and joy in interactions with certain individuals is highlighted as another critical sign. Relationships, while sometimes challenging, should generally be sources of comfort, happiness, and spiritual enrichment. When interactions consistently drain one's sense of peace or diminish joy, it signals a disconnect from the relationship's supposed nurturing role. This lack of emotional and spiritual fulfillment underscores the necessity of re-evaluating and possibly exiting these dynamics. Furthermore, the impact on one's spiritual life is underscored as a vital consideration. Relationships that lead one away from spiritual growth or negatively influence one's faith journey are pointed out as inherently problematic. Such relationships may manifest through discouraging one's spiritual practices, diminishing one's faith, or leading one into behaviors and decisions that conflict with spiritual convictions. Recognizing these influences is crucial in deciding to walk away, as they can impede one's spiritual path and connection with the divine. Signs to walk away thus offers a compassionate yet firm reminder of the importance of vigilance and self-awareness in personal and spiritual relationships. It encourages individuals to heed these signs as divine guidance aimed at preserving their well-being, spiritual integrity, and journey toward fulfilling their divine purpose. By acknowledging and acting upon these signs, one can make the difficult but necessary decisions to leave behind relationships that no longer serve their highest good, thereby opening the path to healthier, more enriching connections. Example of Abraham and Lot leverages the poignant biblical account of Abraham and Lot to elucidate the principle of amicably separating from relationships that prove to be harmful, positing that such divisions, when navigated with grace and understanding, can pave the way for personal serenity and divine blessings. This story, drawn from the annals of Scripture, serves as a timeless exemplar of how to approach the dissolution of relationships with dignity and faith in God's providential care. In the narrative, Abraham and Lot, despite their close familial ties and shared journey, encounter strife between their herdsmen due to the land's inability to support both their flocks. Faced with growing tension and discord, Abraham proposes a solution grounded in peace and foresight. He suggests that they part ways, offering Lot the first choice of land. This gesture of goodwill and trust in God's provision underscores a profound lesson. Sometimes, separation is necessary to preserve harmony and ensure the well-being of all parties involved. This biblical episode highlights several key facets of healthy separations. First, it demonstrates the importance of taking proactive steps to address and resolve conflict in a manner that minimizes harm and promotes peace. Abraham's initiative to suggest parting ways before the situation escalated further is a testament to his wisdom and desire for peace. Second, the story illustrates that parting ways does not have to be contentious or marked by animosity. Abraham and Lot's ability to separate on amicable terms with mutual respect and kindness set a precedent for how to end relationships with grace. It shows that even in separation there can be a demonstration of love and goodwill. Lastly, the narrative reveals the blessings that can follow a decision to part ways when guided by faith and a desire for peace. After Abraham and Lot separate, God reiterates his promise to Abraham, blessing him with abundant descendants and land. This divine reassurance signifies that when individuals make difficult decisions aligned with God's will and for the sake of peace, God's blessings are not far behind. The example of Abraham and Lot thus imparts a vital spiritual lesson on navigating the end of relationships with integrity, faith, and a heart for peace. It encourages believers to trust in God's guidance and provision when facing the tough decision to walk away from relationships that no longer serve their highest good, affirming that such decisions, when made in alignment with divine wisdom, can lead to renewed peace and blessings. Divine invitation to transformation beckons individuals to attentively listen and respond to God's gentle urges to sever ties with relationships that detract from their spiritual growth and personal fulfillment. It offers an assurance that such acts of faith and obedience are not merely endings, but are pivotal steps toward divine appointments with the right individuals who will enhance their lives, cultivate peace, and ensure alignment with God's overarching plan for their well-being. This message is deeply rooted in a conviction of God's infinite wisdom and benevolent intent for his children, framing obedience as a journey towards hope and divine provision. This divine invitation highlights the transformative potential of aligning one's decisions with God's will. It portrays the process of relinquishing unhelpful relationships not as a sacrifice but as a sacred act of making space for meaningful, life-affirming connections that are in store. This shift is presented not as a loss, but as an essential realignment with one's spiritual path and life's purpose, promising a richer, more harmonious existence. Furthermore, it assures individuals that this journey of obedience is laden with God's peace and blessings. The narrative instills confidence that God's design for his followers encompasses relationships that not only bring joy and support, but also propel spiritual maturity. By adhering to God's guidance, individuals are promised a profound peace that stems from knowing they are faithfully walking the path God has meticulously planned for them, a path strewn with blessings and divine encounters. The divine invitation to transformation also stresses the significance of trusting in God's perfect timing and his provision. It acknowledges the apprehension and uncertainty that might accompany the decision to distance oneself from certain relationships, but offers solace in the reliability of God's provision. It encourages believers to lean into their faith that God will guide them not only away from what is harmful, but also towards new, enriching relationships that await them, relationships that are in perfect harmony with their divine destiny. Ultimately, this divine invitation is a poignant reminder of the beautiful possibilities that unfold when one chooses to place their spiritual well-being and divine destiny above all else. It calls on individuals to embrace the journey of change, buoyed by faith and trust in God, with the comforting assurance that such steps towards obedience are met with divine favor, peace, and the beautiful unfolding of God's perfect plan for their lives.